Good afternoon. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing, with today, Friday, July 25th, closing comments. Um, First of all, I got to talk about the stock market. The Dow Jones got to within 38 points of its all time high back in January. That high was 45,272. Now, I am going off the futures before anybody calls up, but after that horrendous correction we had in April, we're nearly back to making new highs. The S&P 500 did make new highs today, 64.25 in the spot month futures. That's up 1,593 points or 33% from the April low. So that market just continues to amaze a lot of people. And there's an old expression that the market's killed more bears than Davy Crockett. Some interesting news in the crude oil. Crude oil finished the week at a 1 month low and a 1 month low settlement, $65.16. So that's going to be something interesting to watch. That is, you got to remember, a few weeks ago, we were up, north of 70. People were very concerned about, those prices spiking. So that's something to watch as well. Also, it negatively impacts the whole ethanol um, supply demand issue. We need to see crude oil. If you want to be, have to be supportive for ethanol, you need to see crude oil up above 70. It just makes the whole ethanol equation look better. So let's get on to the grains. Hold our noses and dive into it. December corn finished the day down 1 3/4 cent, 419 even. For the week, however, we were down 8 3/4 cent. November new crop beans finished the day down 3 1/4 cent at 1021 even. For the week, though, we were down almost 15 cents, down 14 3/4 cent. It is nice to see November beans holding above that key 1017, 1018 level. We talk about that a lot. That's the halfway point of the entire yearly range. So we still have enough what ifs in quotations to have us, be in a relatively better position. Put it this way: I'd rather be at 1021 than sitting down at 960. How's that? A little disappointing day in the Chicago wheat, KC wheat, and Minneapolis wheat. Chicago finished the day down 3 1/4 cent at 538 and a quarter. For the week, down 8 cents. Kansas City, and I'm quoting September here. Kansas City finished the day down 2 cents at 526 and a half. For the week, down just 2.5 cents. The most disappointing contract has got to be Minneapolis spring wheat. September made a new contract low, um, down 10 3/4 cent on the week, and we did settle at 584 and 3/4. 586 had been a big level, and that has now gone by the wayside. So wheat under pressure. In the livestock, we did have cattle on feed today that came out with placements at 92%. They have been looking for placements to be around 98%. That was the average guess. That is going to be bullish for Monday. So, will this cattle market ever correct? It's not going to correct when you have 92% placements when the average guess for the experts was 98%. The average guess, I'll go through it real quick. It had been 99.2 for cattle on feed. It came out at 98. The placements average guess was 98. It came out at 92. And then for marketings, the average guess had been 96.4. That came in pretty close, right at 96. But that placements being, at 92%, they're holding those heifers back. And again, the herd is not big enough for the demand, and you're probably going to see a higher opening on Monday. That is really about it. Those are the highlights. We'll see if we can carve out some sort of recovery here as we head into the last week of July in the grains. The only saving grace I can see is that Novi beans are still sitting there at 1020. I did talk earlier. I've talked a lot about defending the possibility of just a grinding lower market. If we don't get a weather issue, and that's a big if, um, we're going to continue to probably just be sideways to lower. So defend what you can. If you're new to marketing, if you need help with your marketing, please give me a call. I've been doing this for 32 years. I've been working with farmers and producers for 15. Prior to that, I actually was a floor trader at the Chicago Board of Trade, traded my own account. I got into working with farmers and producers in 2010. when the floor closed. So this is Chris Robinson. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.